Uka Uka is free? No, it cannot be. Evil, great evil has come.
None have dared fail the great Uka Uka even once. But you, Cortex, you have failed me twice!
Great Uka Uka! It was that infernal bandicoot!
From deep inside my deadly prison, I sent you simple instructions to follow. But you lost the gems, you lost the crystals, and I have lost my patience. There is now no other power source left on this planet.
I know we've had a few unfortunate setbacks.
And failed. But since your bumbling has managed to set me free, I am feeling generous. There is still a way to amass the power needed to enslave this miserable planet. And this time, the great Uka Uka will make sure that you do it right.
After many eons, my evil twin brother, Uka Uka, has been freed from his underground prison. Long ago, I locked him there to protect the world from his malice. Now, free once again, he must be stopped. Children, Uka Uka and Cortex plan to use this time-twisting machine to gather crystals that lay scattered across time. I have brought you here to recover the crystals before they do. To open the time portal, simply stand on a button and then jump into the portal. Good luck.
Hey, what's up 10%ers, and welcome back to Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Today we are playing on Crash Bandicoot Warped, which is the third game of the three that's available on the new re-release. This is kind of like some sort of time platform. You're in a similar sort of thing to the second game, except for it's all in the same levels as opposed to different variations of levels. Obviously this is the first bit. That's Coco there, your sister. So let's get on with the first bit. So the first level is Toad Village. We're up against the main boss at the end of this one, is Tiny Tiger. And then the second level is an underwater level called Under Pressure. Then we have Orient Express, which you play as Coco, which is Crash's sister, on like the Great Wall of China as they're building it. Then we have Boneyard, which is like a prehistoric lava type level. And then we have Making Waves, which you play as Coco again, where you're riding on a little jet ski. But first we'll start with Toad Village.
Crash, crash, crash. Why must you always muck in my mud? Oh, look! I have a mask helping me, too. We will find out which one is more powerful soon enough.
Yeah, Cortex. We'll see. Failing a bonus path, yep. Same. It's usually the same hints over and over again. Unless it's like a hint specific to that particular level, then it's usually just the same ones. Right, how many boxes? 42 boxes, 4 lives, and 0 Wumpas. Chicken! I like the castle in the background, it looks really nice. The graphics are much more toned, like more detail now. Even the bricks, you can see the little lines in the bricks. The different splinters in the wood. Even like individual grass blades as opposed to just clumps of green. Although in the later Crash Bandicoot games, the graphics did improve quite substantially, to the point where, thinking about it, it almost looks similar to this, if not a little bit older. I mean, I think what they may have done is just taken like the basic construct from the later Crash games, from like the old Xbox original, and or out for Xbox, yeah, out for the Xbox original as well as the PS2 and PlayStation 3, and just sort of like re-implemented them into this one. Although they have changed the game slightly. That sword man there used to go "Eeeh" all the time, rather than just make no noise whatsoever. It's a small thing sometimes that they take out that either make or break the game. Like when you play a game that you like used to play as a child, you kind of want it to be the same as well as different, if you get what I mean. Like obviously it's different because the graphics are better, but you want the nostalgia to be there still. Boink, boink. This first few levels shouldn't be too difficult, since it's the first little realm. But saying that, it is Crash Bandicoot, so we'll have to wait and see what happens when we get to the end. 2 Uka Uka masks, Aqua masks already, or Uga Buga masks as I call them. I call them Uga Buga masks because when we were little, that's what we used to call them when we were little. Because to me, when you collect one, it sounds like it says Uga Buga really fast. So I call them Uga Buga masks. Oh, that was cool. Slid right underneath him. Like, there's parts of this level that I've never seen before, never noticed before. Like, you can see the clouds on the ground, you can see the shadow of the clouds going across. And like, they've put so much detail into stuff that a lot of people would just never think to look at twice. And like, you wouldn't think it, but the levels at the edge of the screen, they go on for so much further than that. But then if you tried to zoom the camera out a bit, it would just be like cut off at the edge. Because the game only draws, like, the further on the level you go, it like has to like redraw bits, like as you go. Like, so the bit we've just gone past, it undraws itself, and then it draws the next bit in front of you as you go through the level. So like, it's how they managed to get a game like this to fit on such an old kind of device. Because a game these days like this, it'd be no problem putting the whole level loaded in at once. But in the old games, they had to sort of like make it load and unload itself at the same time as you went through the level. So they had to get the developers to sort of make the game draw itself as you progressed through the level, and then like undraw itself as you went forward. So if you got like up to a certain point, there'll be certain bits rendered and there'll be certain bits not rendered until you got to that particular part. I mean, there's some parts of the game that you won't even see, such as the boulder level, for example. There's like a big tiki mask just behind the boulder, but you'll never ever see it because the boulder's in the way. So why they bothered putting that there in the first place? It just confuses me and is beyond me. But it's what they did, so it wouldn't be Naughty Dog without the little details in afterwards. A fast kick can get you out of sticky situations, eh? Now, I'm not a big fan of the underwater levels. I just can't stand them. They're not the best ones to ever do. I'll probably never bother trying the time trials because they're just infuriating. Like, it's just ridiculously hard to try and get the time in. It's just an unrealistic time to set for you to try and get through the water levels. It's just stupid. I mean, no offense to the creators and the producers and whatnot, but it's hard enough to control as he is without being in water. Especially when it comes to like all this fucking messing about. I mean, this level's not particularly difficult. It's obviously only the first water level. So when you come to the ones later on that are pain in the back end. That tune's in my head though. Wumpers, wumpers, wumpers. Wumper, wumper, wumper. Oh fuck, I missed a box. There we go. Now, if you don't know, there is a secret level to this. Not in the actual, like, levels, as in, like, in the time zone that I've just come from before I started the level. Is when you collect, you have to collect 5 of the time relics to make the little platform unlock. That's how you get the yellow gem. Or the orange gem, whichever colour you wanted to call it. It is... I think it's the second shape in there. No, it's the 4th shape in there, sorry. And then, what you do to get that particular crystal, or gem, is you have to finish all the games the easiest way, defeat Cortex to get the fast running shoes. It then makes the timing levels a lot easier. Unless you're swimming, then I wouldn't bother with the swimming ones. But you need a minimum of 5 time relics, doesn't matter what colour they are, platinum, silver, gold, whatever, to unlock the secret levels. Then you need another 5, so 10 in total, to unlock the level that allows you to get the yellow crystal. But to access all the secret bonus levels, you need a total of 25 different relics. Doesn't matter what colour they are, you can get the time relics from the bonus levels as well, that'll count towards it. But once you get the time relics, you can access the secret bonus levels. Oh, you're going to be joking me, I can't get those. I've missed those boxes, but I don't mind, I'll come back from another time. You can't destroy the weeds without the little underwater jet ski. But we got there in the end. Now the next level, I think, is the one with Coco, where you go through the Great Wall of China while they're still building it. Shitting. Yeah, so when you do get all the relics and you manage to get enough, the little platform will appear just here. The easiest way to do the time platforms is to get the running shoes from Dr. Cortex when you defeat him at the end of it. I mean, it's daft how you've got to go through all the game to then go through the relics, but in a sense it's like, it's making the same game twice as long for you to do if you want to get 100% completion. So it's like adding more hours of gameplay for you, as opposed to just going through the first section of levels and then getting the time relics and then doing that, because that'd just, you'd be over in 5 minutes. Let's see if we can get all the boxes, shall we? So to run is circle, to jump is X. I don't think we need to run because we're not timed, so I think we'll be... Oh, I missed the box, missed 2 boxes. Now you can jump boost through those, you can run through them as opposed to jumping over them. Boing. But I've never been a big fan of Coco, if I'm honest. I don't like playing as her character, simply because I feel as if she's not quite as good as Crash for like generally jumping over obstacles and things like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's probably just me. Oh, you fuckface, I missed a box. But I think she doesn't quite jump as far as what Crash can do. I don't think she can. Or she doesn't quite spin for as long, or just something about her character just winds me up that she can't simply... Unless it's just how I play as her, she might have like slightly different characteristics of how she does certain actions. But personally, I prefer using Crash. I mean, I've never been a big fan of the levels where you have to use Coco. I mean, these ones... Oh, you fucking dickhead. These ones aren't too particularly difficult. It's just the fucking awkwardness of them. I fucking hate the dragon. I keep jumping way too fucking early. Oh, for fuck's sake. I jumped too early on one, I jumped too late on the other one. It's only on the third level as well. It's a good thing I've got 12 lives. But another thing, I can't believe how easy the boss was for the second game. How easy Nocturnal Cortex was. Compared to all the other boss levels I've ever done, that was going to be the easiest one ever. I did it in one try. I mean, seriously, it was a piece of absolute piss. Oh, I've missed boxes up there. Oh well, we'll be fine. I don't know why I'm pressing the forward arrow, because I don't exactly need to make a walk forward, I just need to make a turn left and right. But it's just a force of habit where you hold down the forward arrow to make it go forward. I don't know why, I've just always done it, it's just how I hold the controller, really. Boing. Smash, smash, smash. I think some of the levels on this are probably a lot easier than some of the levels on the old two games. Especially some of the levels towards the end of Dr. Engine on number 2 and towards the end of like medium Third Island on the first one. Some of those levels were insanely difficult, like what were it called? I forgot what it was called now. The second two levels on Dr. Engine's world on the second game, they really pissed me off. I was like there for good maybe 2 hours just doing the same, well, trying to do the same two levels over and over again. Now the Boneyard, I believe, is one of those like...
Uka Uka and Cortex want tiny get crystals and bring them to big Colosseum in Rome. Crash! Leave them for Tiny or Crash get crushed!
Tiny the moron. It's not Tiny's fault though. He's a bit. Well, he's like a dog, I think, or some sort of dog anyway. And he's like Cortex's little right-hand minion. He just does as he's told, as and when. Now on this one, instead of a boulder or some sort of whatever it was on the other one, a boulder or some shit like that, I don't know. You've got a massive dinosaur. I forgot what type of dinosaur it is. But for the time ones, these are a lot easier because you can run away from the dinosaur a hell of a lot faster than this. So if you ever miss any of the boxes, and it is a little bit difficult for you, a bit difficult for you to manage to get all the boxes on one run, then wait while you've got the speed shoes, and then come back and do them. Because then you've got a bit more time to stop and grab the boxes a little bit faster. Because obviously you run away, so you're like usually about this far away from the dinosaur at all times. Unless you mess something up, then obviously you fall behind a bit, but boing. It also lets you catch up, so you can get away from the dinosaur a little easier. But if I'm honest, I wouldn't bother with any of the time trials until you have the speed shoes. I mean, you can try the motorbike ones if you prefer. They don't make a difference whether you've got the speed shoes or not. That is the purple gem, I believe, I need to get. Now, out of all the Crash Bandicoot games, this is the only one I've managed to get all of the coloured crystals on. I've never done it on the first one, and I've never done it on the second one. Just this particular game, I've managed to get all the coloured crystals, all the coloured gems. And I've never ever managed to do it on the other games. Not even on this remastered version. They're just on the first one. It's just way too hard. I mean, there's probably people that can do it and get them all. And I think for the first game, my brother did get all the coloured gems for the first one, because I do remember taking the alternate way out of that game. There we are. That's that one, and that's that one. Skadadoosh. You still have the body slam, and then obviously when you get a bit more through the game, you get more power-ups. The first one is, I think, is double jump. The first one is the first one's super slam. The second one's double jump. The third one is where you can jump and then like smash the square button to make him spin around in circles a lot, like a super spin that you can like sort of use as a way to hover over large gaps. The fourth one is the Wumper Cannon, and the fifth one is the Speed Shoes. Now, in the second game, the only power-up you got at the end of the game was the Speed Shoes, which made it easier to go back and do the time trials. I think that's when they first introduced power-ups for him to use. Because I didn't think he got any in the first game. I mean, he didn't even have the old slide like that. He just had the normal jump, run and jump. But you didn't have none of the slides, none of the double tap, Wumper Cannon or nothing like that. Just the old run and jump sort of stuff. See, as the games got more progressed, they kind of made it a little bit easy for you. Well, maintaining the same sort of difficulty in the levels, but made it so you have a bit more leeway in if you fucked up, you've got like a little way out. Don't kill me, don't kill me, don't... Oh, fuck. Because in this one, if you're not sure about how big a gap is, there's always the double jump that allows you to... Oh, fuck. To then get over a gap in case you're not sure of how big it is. Even if you know you can get over it in one jump, you always double jump anyway. Like with those, I could double jump and get over that no problem. As opposed to have to wait for the very last second to then go through it. Come on, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up. Yes! Got the gem, the crystal as well. The crystal and the gem. I nearly missed it then. I nearly ran straight past it. But that's the 4th level sorted. Yeah, that's the 4th level. And then the next one is... What's the next? I've completely forgot the next one. Shut-ding! Now there is a secret level, which is the red gem. I think the red gem is on the 2nd realm. I don't think there's any coloured gems on the first one. No. No. No, and... No. No, the first one is just the white gems for collecting all the boxes and then getting down the secret path. The coloured gems are... I think there's 2 in the final realm, on Dr. Cortex's realm. I know there's 1 in Dingodile, but you have to go for the secret warp room. And I'm sure there is 1 or 2 in the 2nd realm. These ones are particularly, it's fairly easy to do, you just gotta watch out for the bombs, it's all about the timing really. And making sure you get just about right on the ramps, because you don't want to mess the ramps up. I mean, they're not particularly hard to mess up, it's just they are annoying if you do mess them up. And you have to then turn around and then go over the ramp again to get the box, if there's a box on it. Vroom. Is there a box on that side? No, I thought there was a box on that side. How many boxes is there altogether? There is 37 boxes. We're already on 20 boxes. We've literally like been on it 2 seconds and we've already got about halfway, because I think the crystal, the purple crystal, symbolises or gives a rough indication of the halfway point of the level. Oh no 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 no! That was a close one. Checkpoint, checkpoint, checkpoint. I like doing a little backflips in it, well, the sideways flips like that. Woo! So watch out for the bombs. Now, why is this many bombs just randomly floating around in the sea? I have no idea. But the colour of the water is really, really nice. You can even see like the little seaweed bits underneath. Now, most people again would not notice that, but it's nice how they put that small detail in. Got the gem as well. I don't know why you have to collect all the white gems. I think I can't remember if there's like a secret reason why you had to. I know on the first one you had to collect all the white ones to unlock the secret ending. I don't know about the second one, and I'm not entirely sure why you'd need to do it on this one. Now we've completed all those 5 levels, we then have to face Tiny in his Roman Colosseum, called Tiny Tiger. And if you remember, Tiny Tiger is... What boss was he now? He was the 3rd boss? Yeah, he was the 3rd boss of the 2nd game. I don't think he was in the 1st game though. No, I don't think he was in the 1st game. The Ripperoo, he was in the 1st and the 2nd game. Because he was the 1st boss on the 2nd game and I think the 2nd boss on the 1st game. Neo stood up there like a little moron with his massive yellow head. Cortex Maximus. Now this. It's not, I wouldn't say it's particularly hard. It's just this bit's not a hard part. You gotta wait for him to do that and then just spin him. The hard part is avoiding the fucking lions. See, they're fucking annoying. You get eaten up all the time. And I think you can spin them away, I'm not sure. See, either spin them away or slide them, I can't remember. But I know you can hit them away. Yeah, it's slide them away. Once you figure out the system, it's easy. You want to just try and pick one. The middle one's usually the best one, because it's in the middle of the screen, so you're not having to mess about too much. But try and, like, obviously dodge the lions if you can without getting eaten. I think they ended up giving up with the life system for like games such as this. Especially, like, you know, does anybody remember, it's like Sonic the Hedgehog 2, for example? That game, I enjoyed it. It was one of those kind of games where you could play for a good long while, because it took a good long while to get to the end. But me and my brother could never get past Metal Sonic, and if you lost all your lives, there was like no way of saving the game in between. So you'd end up going right the way back to the start of the game, back to the very first level. Oh, you fucking twat. So we got all the way to what I think was the second to last boss, which was Metal Sonic, and then after that you go and defeat Robotnik, or whatever you want to call it. I think his name's Robotnik. But the life system made it so if the game was in an arcade, it'd make you spend more money to get more lives and more credits. And obviously the better at the game you were, the more you got for your money per life. But obviously the people who run the arcades don't like people that are good at the games. Because they're not making as much money off them, obviously. Alright, let's not get killed this time. There we go, gotta hit him one more time, and that is the boss level finished. I feel sorry for Tiny though, because Cortex treats him so badly sometimes. He treats him like he's stupid. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's not the smartest of people out of this game by his general how he talks and like his general attitude and whatnot. But I think if you treat Tiny with a bit of respect and you know, treated him nice, I reckon he'd be a nice guy. But because Cortex got to him first, he's like brainwashed him into being the way he is. But I think if Crash Bandicoot got to him first and Aku Aku, like, you know, made friends with him and whatnot, I think he'd be alright.
By defeating Tiny, you have unlocked the gate to the next time travel area. Go back to the center of this time twister and save your progress if you wish. From there, you will see that the gate to the second time travel area is now open.
Thank you for telling me that. Now we've defeated Tiny. That is essentially the first set of levels. It's not too difficult. It took me like, what, maybe half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that to get through the 5 levels. And then you've got this one, which is, I believe, to be Dingo Dial. Yep. And then the next one should be the Time Guy. That one should be Dr. Engine, and then that one is Dr. Cortex. But that is all I've got time for today, guys. On the next episode, we will be taking on Dingodile. Let's hopefully not get killed by Dingodile too many times. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall see all you in the next video. And don't forget, keep it 10% 100% of the time. Bye bye.